Have you hit a wall when it comes to growing your business? Then welcome to the Wingnut Social podcast, helping home professionals and luxury brands accelerate their success with proven marketing strategies and expert industry practices. Now, here's your host, Darla Powell.
BuildLane is a platform that makes it super easy for designers to specify custom furniture. They are changing the game. The end result is an unleashing of your creativity. Whatever you can imagine can be built. And whether or not you're a novice at custom furniture design or an expert, BuildLane's team can make the process super easy. Head on over to buildlane.com. That's buildlane.com. Use code WINGNUT250 to get a $250 discount just for you. Buildlane.com. Hey there, welcome to the Wingnut Social podcast. I'm your host, the Grand High Poobah of all things Wingnut, Darla Jethro Powell. Jethro is not my real name. And I welcome you. I welcome you to this podcast for marketing and business practices and mindset motivation for interior designers and adjacent home pros. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of different. It's going to be a solo show. And I had the bright idea today, mostly because my guest couldn't make it this week. I thought, you know what would be great is to go over case studies with you. Case studies, what they're all about, why it's so important, but also so you can kind of see some of the metrics involved in our case studies here at Wingnut Social, what we look for, what we help clients with. So when you are doing your social or when you're doing your strategy, you can know what's important when it comes to posting on social media, because while we know it can be fun and really pretty and, look at this room, at the end of the day, we don't want it to be a waste of time. We want it to actually get KPI. We want it to get ROI. We want it to get A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We want to make money from that. We don't want to waste our time. And especially if we're doing it ourselves, because, you could be charging upwards of $300 an hour or more for design. So if you're going to spend an hour on social media, 2 hours on social media, come on now. Or if you're delegating it, you want to make sure that these are the kind of benchmarks that your agency is looking to reach. So we are going to get into that. But before I share these real life case studies with you of real life living and breathing social media interior design firms who are our current clients, with their permission, y'all know what time it is. Time for mini news sesh. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to the show. Emily Lisi, who is Wingnut Social's digital content manager. And we're talking all about Instagram security. Emily, there has been a rash of people getting their Instagram accounts getting taken over, hacked, et cetera, but you have some news for us. They're actually addressing this. What's going on?
Yeah. So Instagram launched recently what they're calling a security checkup. So yeah, this is something that's going to appear for people whose accounts have been compromised in the past. So it's going to appear when the person logs in. Okay. So this is like a prompt or something that'll show up if your account's been hacked. How does that work? Yeah. So I haven't experienced this on my own personal accounts, but it will pop up as a prompt for people's accounts who have been compromised in the past. Okay, so let's say you're Susan McNuggets and you had to start a new account in Instagram because someone hacked your old account. They're sending you a message in your new account to say, hey, Susan McNuggets, we know that you've had some issues in the past. Would you like to go through our hoops and make sure that it doesn't happen again? Exactly, yeah. Okay, and what are they doing for that? What are the steps? So it's going to walk you through a few steps. And honestly, these are steps that I'd recommend that you do anyway, even if your account hasn't been compromised. So the first step would be to enable two-factor authentication. So what that is if you go into your settings and into security, there's a button that says two-factor authentication. And this will make it so that when you log in, you'll receive a notification where you'll have to enter a special login code. So this can kind of sound annoying, but it's for the best because it is going to help prevent people from getting into your account who aren't people who are authorized to get into your account, basically. Okay. And I see here in the notes that you have update your phone number and your email. That's just to make sure so they can contact you in case something does go wrong with your account. I know that we tend to forget that if we move or if we change our phone numbers or something. That's a pretty important tip there. Yeah. But before Instagram even prompts you to do this, definitely go in and check your phone number, check your email, make sure that's all up to date. And then a bonus tip there is to set a very secure password. So make sure it's a password that's different from all your other logins. Make sure it's something different from your email password. Make sure it's something different from your Facebook password, because this is going to help make sure that passwords don't get leaked and potentially more accounts being hacked into.
Okay, now this next tip that you have on here, I think is so important because I've actually been an intended victim of this, where I have received a DM that said, oh, we're from Instagram administration and you need to enter this information because you're violating such and such and such and such. And it's don't respond to direct messages from Instagram. Why is that?
Right, because Instagram is never going to direct message you through Instagram. So if you see someone claiming their Instagram in your DMs, it is not them. The only way Instagram is ever going to contact you is through your email. So that's super important to remember. So if someone does message you and they're acting as Instagram, immediately block and report them, because it's not going to be Instagram themselves.
And I did. I blocked them. I reported them, but I do think I replied to them and said, nice try. It was pretty, they even had like a link. They had like a website, but you know, you could kind of tell that English wasn't the first language on the website. There were a lot of red flags, but very good tip. Don't respond to DMs from fake Instagram. All right. What's the next tip?
Next tip is kind of along the same vein, report content and accounts that you find questionable. So this comes a lot in the form of comments that you might receive. They might be kind of spammy, like trying to, solicit information or promote their own things. So you can just report those comments because they're not beneficial to the site, and they may potentially be people who would end up hacking accounts.
Okay. And last but not least,
lastly, enable login request. So when you set up two-factor authentication on Instagram, you'll receive an alert whenever someone tries to log into your account from a device or web browser that they don't recognize. So these are kind of like an additional alert that'll let you know where the person logging into your account is logging in from. So if you have someone else managing your account, it'll tell you where they're located so you can kind of get an idea if it is them or not. If someone's logging in, from California and you're from Florida, you can immediately just not let them log in.
Perfect. All right. These are excellent tips. Emily Lisi, thank you so much again for joining us on the Mini News Sesh.
Yeah, of course. Great to be here.
Great to have you here. We'll see you again next week.
Mini News Sesh. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to get into some case studies. If you don't know what case studies are, they are basically bits of information. They're kind of a testimonial base, but they're more like with black and white. Here's hard numbers of what a certain business has managed to accomplish for a certain client. And if you go to wingnutsocial.com, at the very top of the nav there, you'll see a myriad of different case studies. I want to go over 2 today for you. And I want you to have a couple of takeaways from this exercise in your head. First of all, I want you to think of this as coming from you. Are any of these problems that sound like something that you're dealing with? Or are these even issues that you knew should be issues? When you're out there posting on social media, are you keeping some of these metrics in mind as goals that you want to achieve with your Instagram accounts, your Facebook accounts, your TikTok accounts, what have you? And the second thing I want you to think about is, how can you incorporate case studies that would be fitting for your interior design business on your website? So potential clients can come over and say, oh, Susan McNuggets had a client who had a flooded basement. Here is the problem. Here's how she solved it. Check out my hook while the DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby. Right? So having said that, let's start with our very first client in the case studies rodeo here, and that is going to be Plush Couture Interiors over there on Instagram, and the lovely Teresa Gonzalez, who has given us permission to use her case studies on the website, et al. Okay, so let's get into the problem. When Teresa came to us so many months ago, she was relocating from Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon. It's quite a move, right? So her business needed help to appeal and to establish a presence in a whole new demographic. So she needed help crafting her voice, her brand voice on social to attract clients in this whole new area. So as an Instagram client, our solution was to create a strategy, right? Not just throw up pictures and hope for the best, but a strategy that focused on her branding through consistency in voice, messaging, and the visuals, the imagery, which of course we implemented for her. We did those for her. And we also wanted to make sure that she was known not just as a luxury designer, which she is, but as a lifestyle influencer. And that's just a little quick aside tip here. If you are an interior designer and you're looking to broaden your appeal to something beyond decorating coffee tables and organizing bookshelves, branch out into a lifestyle brand. It's a terrific way to appeal to bigger collaborations, bigger brands, affiliate marketing. It's a nice little strategy. And that's something that we were able to help out Plush Couture Interiors as well. So how we did this was we consistently supported this positioning by mixing up her feed with luxury-focused original content, original designs that she did, inspirational, aspirational content, as well as fashion-forward brand images of Teresa. Now, she's gorgeous. She looks really great. She photographs well, so that was a no-brainer. So in addition to carefully curating these images, we also wrote in her voice. We made sure that we wrote in a way to garner engagement, right? So people are commenting back on her posts. They're becoming engaged fans. There's actual conversation going. They're also learning, about what Teresa can do for them, what Plush Couture Interiors can do for them. Also, we did extensive hashtag research to accomplish these things using analytics, customizing her hashtags to help her reach non-followers, which is super important to grow her reach and to grow her impressions. And since we started working with Plush Couture, now this is old data. Since then, it's grown even more so. But in the first 2 to 3 months, her account grew an increase of over 12,000% in impressions, 7,800% in engagements, that's likes, comments, sharing, saves, and a 900% increase in followers over a 2-month period. Now, just to put this in perspective, her closest competitor in the market, the new Portland market, only had an increase in followers of 15.2% in that same time span. So we were definitely able to get her some amazing results. And as a result of that, her Instagram is going strong. She is doing really well. She's had several posts go viral. She's one of our best clients. We love her very much. Thank you, Teresa, for letting us share that. So did you hear that I talked about the importance of impressions, the importance of engagements? And the increase in followers was the least important there, because when you're starting a successful Instagram campaign, say you haven't had a real marketing strategy from the very beginning, you really want to make sure that brand awareness is one of the main things that you're working on to make people just aware of you. Not every post should be, hey, here I am, bye. Hey, here I am, bye. Hey, here I am, here's what I do, bye. Hey, here I am, how are you? Bye. That's not what I mean by engagements. Just so you can know that. So an example of something you could do again for a client, you can say, if you're a commercial designer, ABC Cafeteria had this many, this much revenue, had these many people come to visit their restaurant. As a case study, after Susie McNugget's design revamped their whole restaurant, now they have this many people coming to the restaurant on the weekend, that kind of thing. Those kind of analytics, those would be terrific case studies, especially for a commercial designer. I'm so smart. I'm so glad I just thought of that on the fly. Okay, the second case study is the lovely and beautiful and talented mood design and build Candy Scott of mooddesignbuild.com. Mood design build, Candy Scott, came to us, wanted to build brand awareness. So she knew what time it was. She knew it was really important to build up brand authority, brand awareness as a Chicago design build firm. So she had a 2-pronged approach. Not only did we help her in her Instagram and her social media, but we helped her with her SEO and her website, because she wanted to show up in the industry and be known, heard, and seen, again, and increase their credibility. Again, brand awareness, credibility, authority. And she wanted to attract followers and potential leads, especially in Chicago, but she didn't want to just say, okay, just Chicago, but United States as well. And she wanted to differentiate themselves from competitors. Now, that's key. Okay, differentiate yourself from your competitor is positioning. Part of one of the main aspects of positioning is, where do you fall among your competitors? What is it that you can offer that ideal client who possibly in an alternate universe could pick any one of your competitors? What is it that you specifically have to offer that's different from the others? Positioning, which is part of our strategy that we do here. Have you visited our sponsor, buildlane.com? If you haven't, why haven't you? You know, when I was doing full-time interior design in Miami, Florida, I would have given my whole collection of Star Wars action figures to have known about Build Lane because we were doing a buttload of custom furniture work. The logistics were awful, but Build Lane, the genius behind them is they've solved that. They are basically a one-stop shop for all of your custom furniture needs. They have a whole stable full of vetted vendors that are capable of building almost anything you can imagine. And all you have to do is give them a fully specified CAD file or a pencil drawing on a cocktail napkin, and Build Lane is going to match the needs of the piece that you need with one of their highly vetted factories that has all the capabilities to make that. And they'll return a quote to you. You get your own little manager. You can show your clients, here is your beautiful piece getting built along the way. Aren't you freaking excited? Guys, this is the perfect opportunity to up-level your interior design game to make yourself that designer who can offer things that no other designer can. You need to get over to buildlane.com fast and be sure to use the special code WINGNUT250 for $250 off of that whole situation right there. That's buildlane.com, Wingnut250. You're going to love them. So in order to build that brand awareness and authority, we needed to ensure that she had a clear brand voice and style online. So we created our in-depth Instagram strategy, and we also did an SEO audit to help us inform our choices going forward to work up her business plan, her marketing plan. So Candy has a very confident, creative, and approachable brand voice. I don't know if you've ever met her at market. She's gorgeous, she's talented, but she's very approachable. And she's very capable, very content, and her design is immaculate. So while we focused on her skills, being a very capable and talented designer in project management and large design build jobs, which is important because that's the kind of work she wanted, that differentiated her from her competitors in her area, right? She had expert skills in project management for large design build jobs. So we focused in on that. And to attract clients, we determined, all right, remember I said the SEO stuff needed some SEO work. So we're going to get to the website SEO maintenance. So for Instagram to speak to this ideal client that she wanted for her design build firm in Chicago, we made a strategic content mix of interior design, interior architecture, right? Not just design, but architecture to emphasize the build part of her business. If you have a design build firm, don't just throw a whole bunch of pictures of pillows on a sofa or, paintings. Make sure you get that build, quote unquote, aspect in there. And lifestyle photos again. Lifestyle photos of their team, which humanizes the business, makes them likable, makes them approachable. Not that they're not likable, but you know what I mean? Shows their likability. Also, Candy expressed to us that it was very important for us to relay her personal passion for growth, self-care, and celebrating women in business. So in order to increase engagement and get more impressions, we used highly engaging questions in their captions to provoke replies in the comments, which seems pretty basic, but a lot of people forget it. A lot of clients come to Wingnut, and when I look at their captions, it's just a statement. It's not something that wants to bring in the reader to have a conversation. That's what it's all about, conversational marketing. Now, Candy also wanted to show up in the top Google research for build design firms in Chicago. So we knew that her website needed a little bit of SEO love. So we optimized her site for search that she would appear in Google search results, increasing their brand visibility online as well. And that allowed more potential clients to discover them. So it was a nice synergy with the SEO and the social media. We did extensive keyword research to optimize her website for local Chicago searches, which is super important because remember, that was her number one ROI goal there, was to make sure that she is respected as the go-to design build firm for Chicago. And after the initial website revision took place, we optimized her site ongoing, including link building, blogs, landing pages. So blogs are super important for SEO. But you can not just any blog, you have to make sure that they're heavily optimized, right? They have to be written in such a way that they're keyworded for the market. So someone searching for her services, that blog's going to pop up. Locally, that's going to pop up. They have to be formatted in such a way that Google recognizes it and loves it and gives them warm little fuzzy Google juice hugs. And not only did this help her organic search results in her area, but it provided content for social media, right? To share the blog on Facebook, on Instagram. Definitely a lot of cross promotion there. So that's something you guys need to think about as well, is if you have a blog, to use some blurbs, use some experts, use some quotes, use some testimonials on your social media, depending on your strategy, of course. Another thing that we did for her SEO on her blog to help her gain leads from the actual blog writing is we created specific landing pages on her actual website on key topics that we were targeting specifically to get those clients into Mood Design Build and link them internally in the blogs. So as a result of this work with Wingnut Social, Mood Design and Build experienced a dramatic increase in exposure to their brand and traffic to their website in the first 3 months of working with us, Wingnut Social. The client's Instagram increased 20,400% for impressions, 48,300% for engagements, and their followers more than doubled. Also in the first 3 months, we increased their website visibility to 12 times that of their competitors and increased their average Google search position by 27 spots. Organic search traffic increased by 27%. Now, these are old numbers, folks. These numbers are at least 6 months, a year old. This is just from the case studies on the website. We do have some new case studies coming out with new designers. You can go to the website and check that out when they're up. But these are actually pretty impressive numbers. When my team put these together, I was like, what? This is pretty solid. And again, I'd like to thank Candy Scott for letting us share this and letting us put the case studies on the website. We really appreciate that. She's a lovely client. She's been with us for quite a long time. Okay, so from the results from that, those are some insane percentages. But the first one in importance was impressions. 331,219, which increased 20,396%, almost 20,400%. That's huge. That's where your brand reached. That's where people who weren't following you are seeing, hey, who's this Mood Design and Build? Who are these people? Engagements, again, second to the impressions, are people that actually come over, comment, like, save, share, yada, yada, and followers, which we managed to increase as well, which are important. You do want to get followers, but you want to make sure, again, that they are the kind of followers who come to you in an organic way or in a way that they're coming to follow you because they actually like what you're putting down and you're not using robots and all that weird jazz, which we do not do here at Wingnut Social. So those are just 2 case studies that I'm going to share with you. We do have more on the website if you want to go check those out. Like I said, we do have more coming. The majority of our clients are interior designers or interior design adjacents. We do have that one dentist. It's actually my dentist in Miami, Florida. Hey, the best dentist, Dr. Greenstein in Pinecrest, Florida, by the way. So, I hope that kind of opens your eyes a little bit into the fact that, it's more than just throwing up a picture and getting followers and getting a like. There's a lot more work that goes into that. And we're more than happy to do a strategy for you guys here. We do a terrific one. But if you wanted to do one by yourself, there are other ways that you can go about it to do it. You can join wingnutpremium.com. The first 5 episodes are basically a primer. Is that the right word, Jerry Cerruti? On how you want to go about creating your own strategy. Now, it's not as robust and it's not nearly as good as delegating it and have someone else do it. But if you are at the stage in your career where you feel like your budget is going to be more of a DIY situation, then I highly recommend that. The first 5 episodes are worth the price of admission alone on that. And that's wingnutpremium.com. Plus you get a whole bunch of other goodies, which I won't belabor here, but needless to say, it's a pretty decent plan. So this episode was short and sweet. Again, I want to thank our sponsor, BuildLane. Get over there, buildlane.com. Use your code WINGNUT250 to save all those Benjamins. I'm telling you, you're going to write me an email thanking me forever for all the time and money I just saved you there. And I hope that this helped you out, opening your eyes a little bit to some of the stats that are important with your social media marketing. And if you need help with marketing your design business, of course, head on over to wingnutsocial.com or give us a call, 786-206-4331. We do have a little bit of a waiting list for our full service social media marketing on behalf of clients, but we do have 2 spots that are still open that are filling up quick. May it only be 1 after I record this today. I'm waiting to hear back from a client. You know who you are. All right. That's it for this episode. If you want to join me over at Wingnut Social Premium, I'm going to head on over to that studio and record an episode all about adding consulting to your interior design services. Is it worth it? Or maybe you should just do that completely. I have some thoughts on that. WingnutPremium.com. Wingnut Premium listeners, I'll see you over there. Remember, get out there, get uncomfortable, and be great.
You've reached the end of this episode of Wingnut Social, but that's only the first step into accelerating your business the Wingnut way. Head on over to wingnutsocial.com to see how we can help you take your business from social mediocre to social media master.
Nothing like a little tequila to get the frogs out of your throat, I hope. We shall insert that here. Sprite is terrible. Don't drink a Sprite before a podcast. Good boy, Mango.